I'd like to welcome everybody to the City of Brisbane Parks and Recreation Commission meeting agenda on Wednesday, January 13th, 2021, 6:30 p.m. Happy New Year. This virtual meeting is compliant with the Governor's Executive Order N2920 issued on March 17th, 2020, allowing for deviation of teleconference rules required by the Brown Act. Consistent with the order, this virtual meeting provides a safe environment for staff, park and recreation commissioners, and the public while allowing for public participation. The public may address the commission using exclusively remote public comment options, which are detailed below. The commission may take action on any item listed in the agenda. So for the public meeting videos, members of the public may view the meeting by logging into the Zoom meeting listed below or on the attached meeting agenda. Public meetings can also be viewed live and or on demand via the city's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brisbane CA, or on Comcast channel 27. Archived videos can be replayed on the city's website via the All Meetings page. That's http://brisbaneca.org/city-government/meetings. To address the commission, when an item you're interested in appears on the agenda, you may address the commission at that time. If the matter you are interested in is not on the commission's agenda, but is a matter that is within the commission's subject matter jurisdiction, you may address it under citizen communications. Meeting participants are encouraged to submit public comments in advance of the meeting. For remote public comments, aside from commenting while in the Zoom meeting, the following email and text line will be monitored during the meeting, and public comments received will be read into the record under citizen communications. The email is jfranco@brisbaneca.org or text 628-219-2912. For the Zoom link, it's zoom.us with the meeting ID 937-8546-3238, passcode 011321. If you'd like to dial in, it's 669-900-9128 with the meeting ID 937-8546-3238. So the next item on the agenda is roll call.
You want to call to order officially?
Oh, sorry. I'd like to call to order.
3:35 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chairperson Ocampo.
Present.
Commissioner Covina.
Present.
Commissioner Marmion.
Present.
Commissioner Boggs.
Present.
Commissioner Boliga.
Present.
Commissioner Needham.
Present.
All right, let's move on to the adoption of the agenda. Or are there any deletions, additions, or changes?
I move that we approve the agenda as read.
Second?
I'll second it. Marmion.
Did Sharon second?
I was muted, but yes.
Okay, and roll call for that, or not roll call. Chairperson Ocampo to approve the minutes.
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Covina.
Yeah. Aye.
Commissioner Marmion. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, Commissioner Marmion.
Aye.
Commissioner Boggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Boliga.
Aye.
Commissioner Needham.
Aye.
All right, so we have the agenda approved. So now the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
I second it.
Okay, Chairperson Ocampo.
Aye.
Commissioner Covina.
Aye.
Commissioner Marmion.
Aye.
Commissioner Bolaga,
Aye.
Commissioner Buds,
Aye.
and Commissioner Needham.
Aye.
I heard it very quietly. He said aye.
All right, the next item are citizen communication.
At this time, there is no emails or text messages, so no citizen communication at this time.
Okay. Presentations, we don't have any. Next item is old business. So an update on the festival tree.
Good evening, commissioners. We felt that it was appropriate to provide an update this month regarding the festival tree, as it's been a topic of conversation at our last couple of meetings and residents as well. So at this time, it appears that there is slim to zero chance of the new tree recovering from its condition, and therefore the city has determined that it will be removed. The Public Works team is working with the contractor to have it removed, hopefully within the next few weeks. And then we will reconvene the ad hoc subcommittee with open space and ecology to determine next step for a replacement tree, and whether that includes examining alternative species, possibly ones that are more likely to thrive in this environment, in a coastal environment, as well as discussing the location and whether it makes sense to select an alternate location or replace a tree in the location that was previously selected for the new tree. So hopefully in the coming month or so, we will begin the conversation again with open space and ecology. But that is the update on the festival tree. And if the broader commission wants to weigh in on the topic, we can certainly add that to the agenda for next month as well. Any questions?
Well, I guess we can talk about it next month. I do kind of want to find, we have already determined that it was overwatering, or is there no way to determine?
There was an irrigation leak that was
Right.
causing the overwatering. Yeah. And that was the biggest reason why the tree was unable to thrive.
Okay. And so is there a reason then that we're looking at a different type of tree and location, or is it just curious?
I think it's the consideration as far as like success rate. That
Okay.
species of tree is typically found in the mountains. Not that it's impossible for it to thrive here locally, but it warrants further conversation as to whether a different species might thrive more successfully.
Cool. Thank you.
Noreen, I guess another question is, what is the status of the current tree? I mean, this tree was to replace the existing tree that's there. What is the status of it? I mean,
When it was determined that we would purchase a new tree to replace the old tree, it was mostly because the old tree has been struggling for several years. And you'll notice, like, especially towards the top of the tree on one side, there are fewer branches, and it may have lived out its useful life. And so the thought was to plant a smaller tree nearby that would give it, 10 or 15 years to grow larger to be able to ultimately replace the old tree. The old tree is fine. We used it this past year for Festival of Lights, and Tim Chang and his crew always do a really great job kind of putting supplemental branches to kind of even out the general look of the tree. So it's fine, and it will continue to last as long as we decide to leave it there. But ultimately, the goal is to have it be replaced with something that will last more long term.
thank you.
If I may, through the chair, it's just a comment and an opinion. I just think it's kind of ironic that the new tree dies from being overwatered, but the old tree kind of flourished from the overwatering, where before it looked like it was dying. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So the next item under old business is the current facility operations and closures.
All right, so we thought it might be helpful for the public and also for the commission to provide an update on our facility closures and operations, given kind of the frequent changes of what's going on in society as far as the COVID pandemic is concerned. I know we were in the orange and the red and the purple, and then back to the orange, and we reopened facilities. And then now with the shelter in place, we've had some changes to our overall operations and facility closures. So I wanted to provide an update. We are still operating our childcare programs. Sorry about that. We are still operating our childcare programs. We have 2 after-school sites at both Lippman and Mission Blue. Prior to the holiday break, we had our preschool program up and running. Due to just COVID circumstances and the new shelter in place, as well as low enrollment, we're taking a break from our preschool program for the month of January and hope to resume in February. All of the parents that were enrolled in December said that they intend to return. I just think that some may be hesitant just based on what's going on and just the concern around risks of exposure. So our childcare programs that's the status of them. The pool is still open 7 days a week. We're still operating at 100% capacity for lane reservations for lap swim and water aerobics. So that's going well. Staff is still providing senior meals twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. As far as other facilities being open, our tennis courts are open, the dog park is open, the community park playground is open with restrictions and adaptations for COVID, and our fields are open as well. The facilities that remain closed is the Tot Lot playground is closed to the public because it is being used exclusively by Silver Spot at this time. Our skate park and basketball courts remain closed, and indoor facilities for public access. So that's specifically the community center, Mission Blue, and the Sunrise Room. We are also not accepting rental reservations at this time just because of the uncertainty around COVID circumstances. So we're not accepting any picnic rental reservations or indoor facility reservations until we have more information about when gatherings can resume. And special events, we are not currently planning any in-person special events. However, we are working on some spring events that will be socially distanced or virtual. So that's kind of an overview of where we're at as far as operations are today. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
I have a question through the chair. I know that, and help me recall what happened. With Mission Blue, it was in our CIP, to upgrade that kitchen. I cannot recall what city council did because I don't know if it's going to be going on into next year. They're going to update it, but I was just thinking while everything's closed, this is the time that they should probably remodel that. So when you do open up and start taking events, it's up and running.
Yeah, so the commission did talk about that I think 2 years ago now, because we're on the CIP cycle again this year, as far as it being a priority. And it was not selected by city council as a top priority for that budget cycle. And so it wasn't funded either in the general fund or by CIP funds. So we will talk about this a little bit later in our meeting tonight as far as commission calendar, but we will be talking most likely starting next month about CIP prioritization. And that will certainly come back up and will come back in front of council if it's still the will of the commission to pursue that.
Yeah, I just couldn't recall what city council, what year that they said or what, but thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right, so the next item is new business, the 2021 commission calendar, which is attached in the meeting packet.
So yeah, I mean, typically what we do with the commission each year is we go through our commission calendar and set some agenda topics for presentations and event debriefs and specific topics for the year. What you've been provided in as the attachment is, oh, there's Renee and Kevin on Sharon's background. What you've been provided tonight on the attachment is a sample calendar from a previous year. The goal for tonight's meeting would be to kind of go through each month and determine whether or not we want to continue with those topics and those presentations on those respective months, or if we want to add or change anything. I will say before we kind of dive into establishing the commission calendar that the city council is doing their goal setting on February 4th. So it would behoove the commission to do kind of goal setting work plan following their goal setting to make sure that we're in alignment. And that this is the year that we would review CIP. We did budget last year and we do alternating years for budget and CIP. So you'll see that on the commission calendar as well. Typically that goes in front of the city council by May or so. And so the commission tries to get in front of the CIP conversation by doing so in February or March. So we can take a look at the draft calendar, and then if anybody has any proposals for changes or deletions, we can go ahead and make those adjustments and solidify the calendar for the year. And then if there's a desire to have further conversation about any of those items, we could always bring it back to a future meeting as well.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments on the draft?
Through the chair, can we get the CIP that we've been working on, another copy of that, just because I don't know exactly where it is. I know I have it, but thank you. I'd appreciate that.
If that will be an agenda item for the next meeting, we can certainly send that out to you guys to review beforehand.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, so through the chair, some recommendations for the calendar for next year. In the past, we've had, as part of the facilities subcommittee or talking about facilities, we've had tours. Ideally, there's no physical tours happening, but I'd like to see at least maybe an April timeframe, just an update on facilities. To Renee's point, where's Mission Blue, how the other facilities are doing, et cetera. Just some follow up on facilities in April would be a good thing. A program on that. The other thing that I don't see that we had in the past, again, was the YAC. So the team, the YAC, again, I don't know if they're meeting per se, but if, what is upcoming for the year or what they plan for the, potentially fall of 2021 kind of thing. So something maybe in the April, May timeframe about what the new school year for fall 2021 might look like from the YAC might be also a good program to hear about. So those are the couple of things for me that I thought about.
If I may, Lyle, it says here June offsite facilities tour. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, so we have done it in the past. What I'm talking about is like a program about where facilities are. Since that tour we took last year, how are things progressing? Kind of like Mission Blue, the Sunrise Room, how is the new couch working out and those kinds of things,
Right. Yes.
We would normally get to tour those around, but unless we have someone walk around with the camera through Zoom, it's going to be hard to take a tour.
Yeah, we can certainly provide an update.
Yep.
And it'd be good too if we did a walking tour of our walkways, because I know that there's some improvements that have been there since we met, got a while on that. And also I know that there's some development issues going on out at Sierra Point, the marina, and we should probably, look at that so we have some input eventually down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think something we might want to consider adding is just with so many things in limbo these days, what are the virtual type of events or otherwise that we might be seeking to plan in the coming year that might replace some of the things that are currently on there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are they going to be doing the CPRS conference virtually?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a reduced registration fee.
Yeah,
So I can send out that information to you guys if you're interested.
yeah, that'd
Awesome.
be, yeah.
Okay, great.
Through the chair, I have to say, I've been attending more conferences and workshops since Zoom started, and it's been great because I really focus better. I mean, I can sit there and listen to people and see everything, and their presentation is right up on my screen. So if you have the opportunity, take advantage, because it's been kind of cool to just be able to not have to stress about running to the conference and getting your stuff set up. It's like so chill. So it's cool. Thank you for letting us be involved in that.
Yeah, and the city we do budget it for you guys to attend the conference. So if you're interested,
Cool.
that opportunity is available to you.
Awesome.
Great. All right. So we can, anything else on the new business for the 2021 commission calendar draft?
So through the chair, just to be clear, next meeting, we're going to actually set this calendar. So
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make the adjustments that I received this evening, and we'll bring it back for approval at our next meeting.
okay, thank you.
So the next item, reports so chairperson, that is myself. So I thought it'd be a good idea to, I guess, to start off with the new year of just kind of reminding everybody on our mission of being part of Park and Recs. So the mission of Parks and Recreation Services in Brisbane is to engage and inspire a healthier community by providing fun, inclusive, innovative, and safe parks, facilities, and programs. So I just wanted to remind everybody that I also thought it'd be also a good idea that with a lot being social media and virtual, with supporting our Parks and Recs department, they have a hashtag called Smile Brisbane. So it's basically a time where, I guess like on the website, it recognizes that this is a complicated time, and we want everyone to know that, with the community, that they're not alone, and the Park and Rec department is here for everybody. So I wanted to see if anybody had any ideas on, helping support this Smile Brisbane, I guess, platform, or, especially like since everybody's in social isolation, and supporting the community with health and wellness during our, I guess, our shelter in place orders. So I wanted to see if anybody had any ideas on getting anybody involved with this, I guess, with Smile Brisbane, just to get out and just enjoy all of our facilities. So whether it's like, with social distancing of like, I guess, a scavenger hunt or something that, we can all explore Brisbane on our own time. So
It's kind of a cool idea.
yeah, I know, because everybody we had Santa Claus driving around or during the festival tree update, but now it's January and February. If there's anything that we can get anybody involved, we even had our volunteer, our volunteer awards from last month, where we surprised them, and I believe there was a video on that. So capturing those kind of moments is something that we're always looking forward to, on getting everybody, getting our community tight knit. So
Did we ever sell those T-shirts, Smile Brisbane?
We have them internally, but
yeah,
I suppose we could sell them if there was enough interest.
You could just put it up on the website and let people order them.
yeah,
See if people are excited about it.
yeah.
Sell them for cost. And then that way people can it might inspire them to
Well, I was thinking
wear smiley shirts.
even at the farmer's market,
Right,
have the little Park and Rec booth and Smile Brisbane.
right.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then maybe we could have flyers on what would be upcoming events.
Right, right.
uh,
Yeah, I know I see a lot like through Facebook and the residents of Brisbane. And it just seems like a lot of residents are, part of that. And it'll be nice to see like, more video or pictures of them getting involved and getting out there of like just being active.
Hmm.
Finding that creative event. I know that David mentioned, if there's virtual events or something that can get families out there or, individuals out there.
We could have a virtual bingo night.
Right.
Yeah, it's possible.
For even virtual runs, my sister-in-law held one for their as a fundraiser, and everyone did it, different times, different places, but were able to kind of contribute, to your point, their videos, their stories around it. So they're kind of events like that that could be interesting.
Right.
Yeah, the Brisbane Lions did the fun run this year virtually, and we had a few people show up for the actual day of the run, and then we staggered their starts, but people just ran it. We showed the loop, told them what the run was, and then they ran it, and then just came and picked up their t-shirt and their certificate. But it was cool. It was at least a way to get people moving and out of their
Right.
house.
Right.
So
It's a great idea.
cool.
And I've been seeing a lot on social media of our pretty sunrises and our pink skies, if there was maybe like, everybody's getting out there, photo contest or something, putting some kind of like photo and activity or something like that. I mean, enjoying like what we're surrounded by, the mountains and our big sky for stars.
Yeah.
Well, I know last April we did a virtual Easter hunt. We're not, we put things in windows. I think continuing that with this year, but maybe for February about hearts, right? We have stars we put up, what about hearts for Thanksgiving, for Valentine's Day? I'm not sure that we have Cupid running around the town, but
hey, you never know.
Potentially, could do that. But I think, because again, typically you have December and then there's a lull until essentially, St. Patrick's Day or Easter, there's a lull. But let's, try and take advantage of that time, because again, as I think it's being said, smiling needs to happen all the time. And it's when it's cold outside and darker, it's not as easy to smile and see. So the more that we can do to add smiles.
That's a good idea,
That's great.
Lyle. Like you said, St. Patrick's Day, May Day, little May baskets. Yeah, that's wonderful.
I will say thank you for that. Sarah is working on some of those things already. Black History Month and Valentine's Day. So.
Yep. I mean, if we were in school still, as right, more Renee, in school, you'd be doing these things and creating cards, and so I mean, everyone. You're maybe not in school. Let's everyone remember what it's like to be a kid and create those cards and give Valentines. Sharon's lighting up over there.
Yes, because what about if we figure out, I don't know how we do it, but just, when you were in school, you would go to the office and you would buy like the 25-cent card with a little chocolate, and then the school would deliver it to that person in their class. Maybe we can figure out some way to do that.
Candy graham.
For Valentine's in the city. Like,
Sarah's
is that
already
what you're
on
doing?
Yep.
You are too on it. Good job. Yes, that's such a cool idea.
Why didn't you stop us? I'm
Yeah,
doing
right.
a check.
We're telling all your
so
secrets.
excited. I couldn't.
Sarah's on it. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, really.
Sarah also doing any like virtual cooking classes or anything like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody has a
that might be
kitchen.
interesting. That's been kind of a fun thing to do with friends and family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of ideas.
That's a great idea.
Great ideas. Thank you guys.
I guess also with Valentine's, you can guess the Park and Rec staff Cupid, like who's the one that's,
Yeah.
guess Cupid with the candygram.
Try to spot Cupid, figure out who Cupid is.
Yeah,
Cupid
That's cool.
strikes again.
right.
I like it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
No, great ideas, everybody. But if you have anything, I guess, Noreen, when would be the best time to share if anything comes up? Is it like a rolling?
Yeah. Anytime, really.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. The next item is under reports is subcommittee. So subcommittee meetings, reports. It looks like there's none. And then the next item is setting subcommittee meetings. Let's see. So.
Can I, through the chair, can I ask you, Noreen, a question? Are we, I assume that the Artist Evening of Sharing is through Park and Rec. Is that true?
Yes, we are going to mention it later.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool, cool. No problem. So are we setting subcommittee meetings? Is that?
Yes. Do you want me to go through the list, Natalie?
Yeah, so I see that we have like a draft of the events. I guess how do we set up meetings for the ones that are still in draft mode? You know, if we're going through the annual calendar, like the day we have like the subcommittee for Brisbane Derby Day in the Park. You know, how do we go through something like that if, you know?
Yeah, so typically what we do when we prepare to set subcommittee meetings, we just kind of go down the list and see what are kind of time relevant. And for those that are further out or just happened, we skip over them and don't schedule a meeting. But for those things that might be more time sensitive or are coming up on our traditional annual calendar, then we can talk about whether or not we need to set meetings for those things. So.
All right. So for the first one, we have the Brisbane Derby Day in the Park, which is in October.
Yeah, so it's a little far out for that one.
Yeah. And then we have the next subcommittee is the beautification. Anything, probably not with that, right?
And that's with the City Council Ad Hoc Subcommittee. I know, Renee, I believe that the City Council just went through their subcommittee assignments. So I believe that they were waiting to kind of flush that out with the council reorg to then prepare for the next beautification meeting. So hopefully that will happen soon.
Concerts in the park. So how are we doing this? Are we, I mean, that's set, it looks like set for, we usually have that like in June, July.
Yeah, so that's one of the ones that might be helpful to schedule a subcommittee meeting to kind of talk through the logistics of framing this year's season based on all of the unknown variables. Typically this time of year, we start our fundraising for donations and we book bands. So it might be helpful to convene that subcommittee.
I guess like also thinking outside the box, there were a couple of park and recs from other cities that had drive-ins. But I'm like thinking of Brisbane, the space for cars and drive-ins and a stage. That would be kind of like something that wouldn't be an option, right? Like if like a concert drive-in or
Down at the marina.
I was going to say the marina might be an option to think about a different venue for that purpose of having a stay in your car, listen to music kind of thing. Idea would be marinas an area. Renee?
No, not the marina anymore because of all that construction out
Okay.
there. It's really
That's true.
difficult to maneuver, and then you'd have to relocate all the people that live there on the boats. I don't think they'd like that.
yeah.
But I think to Noreen's point, I think the subcommittee, should meet to kind of talk through, like you're bringing up, Natalie, some of the creative ways about how can we make something happen if anything happen, right?
Right.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
So
So,
Bonnie and Natalie on that subcommittee.
Right.
all right. Bonnie, when's the best day and time for you? I'll work around the.
It doesn't make any difference to me. Most days are the same.
Seems to be the case for most of us.
I'm open to.
Do we want to look at a Wednesday evening?
Sure.
Sure.
Either next Wednesday, the 20th, or Wednesday, the 27th?
Sure. The 20th works for me.
Does that work for you, Bonnie?
Sure. What time?
Do we normally have these like at 4 or 3?
We can have them whenever the subcommittee is available.
Yeah, after 3 o'clock's fine for me.
Okay.
Do we want to say 4 o'clock?
Sure.
Well, 3 is okay.
Yeah, 3 is okay for me as well.
Okay. So at 3 p.m. Okay, it's Sarah can send out a calendar invite.
Okay. The next one is events.
Yes, that's us.
Yeah.
That might be useful to have one as well.
Yeah.
Sure. I, like Bonnie, have big flexibility.
Yes.
I don't.
I really don't. I don't have any issues next whole week except for Tuesday at noon. I cannot be at a meeting. Otherwise, you pick.
Can we do the week after? Next week is like silly, crazy.
Yes, and I have a little bit more obstacles that week, but just let me know when and then I can tell you.
Are you guys open to a morning meeting?
If it's not before 10.
4
Renee,
p.m.?
I had to go get I have 3 like calendars. What date did they say?
We didn't yet.
How about Tuesday the 26th at 4? Would that be acceptable?
Oh, yeah.
26. 26.
I think so. Why does that date sound familiar to me? I think it's fine.
Let me look here too.
It is fine. It's fine.
26.
I can do that.
does that work for you, Renee?
Well, I don't have anything in all 3 of these calendars. January, right?
Yeah.
2021, Renee. Just make sure we're in the right year too.
Oh, you know I'm blonde.
Hey,
Okay, at 4 p.m. you said?
Yes.
Okay.
events committee meeting. All right.
All right. So we just had Festival of Lights, Habitat Restoration Day.
I know Jeff is helping to moderate the meeting, so he's here, but he was going to touch on that briefly just to give the commission an update and let you know where we stand currently and as far as those events are concerned. Do you want to jump in now, Jeff, or?
Sure. Here, let me see if this. Okay, so I have touched base with Adrian and Bob with Public Works, and they had the agenda item come up at one of their OSEC meetings. And at this time, it was said to not plan any future events. We do know, well, the next one that we would have, usually we'd have a planting day in February. So that one has been canceled. Then the next event after that would be in April for Earth Day. And we're kind of like in a wait and see pattern because we do all acknowledge that we could have a habitat restoration event, being it outside and everybody could be socially distant. So it's something that right now we're kind of in a holding pattern and seeing if we move maybe back to the color system tiers. That could be something potentially we do in red or orange, but seeing that we're in the shelter in place order right now, we kind of want to ride this out and see how long it's going to last. So and for those events like an Earth Day event, it would only take maybe a couple weeks to promote it. Like the event itself doesn't take much planning. We can kind of just pick a location and then put everything together. So I don't know at this time we need a subcommittee meeting. We kind of just need, like, maybe by the time we have our next commission meeting, we'll have more of an update of where we are in life to know if we can move forward and plan for Earth Day, or if we just have to kind of hold off and wait until one of the summer events.
Okay.
Through the chair, is OSEC the actual driver of this event? So could we, let's just make up a scenario. Let's just say that they're not cool with holding a general event. Could we be like to the community, hey, it's Earth Day and these are 10 areas we need help in. And if there's like, we could mitigate people and make sure they don't overwhelm an area. Like, could we do something that would promote Earth Day, even if we don't as a whole society?
I would say yes. And if we did that, like, we would let them know, but we could definitely like put together an event. Just like normally the subcommittee meeting we'd have for habitat restoration in January would be a combined OSEC and Park and Rec meeting to kind of plan for the whole year and pick all the events, all the locations. But
yeah,
if we want to move forward, I have done a lot of planning for these events, so I would feel comfortable planning an event. And then I would bring them in to say, hey, we're going to do this. And at that time, could see like maybe at that point they would be not more willing, but just help with the planning and see where they are at that time.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for being open to that. That's cool. I think our community would support that and we would find ways of being safe at doing it. So
it's definitely an event we can socially distance.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next one is public art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any meetings scheduled at this time with the Public Art Advisory Group.
Okay.
I think that they're in a, what do I want to call it? Redirection mode right now, possibly.
After the mural, is that where we're still at for public art? The mural that we had for the skate park, is that the last thing that we, okay, thank you.
Okay. The next item is the recreation programs subcommittee.
And I think we should meet, David. As we talked about some ideas now, and listen to what they've got planned for month of February, March, April. We should talk about those things that we can do from recreational perspective. So it would be good to meet. So the week of the 25th, what day for you, Kevin? Sorry, David.
So we have something on 26th. Friday, would that be acceptable? 29th?
That's fine.
Are you limited to late afternoons, or would you be up for a 2 o'clock?
I absolutely can do 2 o'clock on Friday.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one is recreational facilities.
So are we gonna be going to facilities and doing things with the facilities before we get a virtual tour of the facilities? Is that something that, do we need to meet and talk about beforehand?
So Sharon, it's something that we would do. I don't see a need to meet before February about recreational facilities. I think
Right.
after we talk through CIP and some of the capital improvement projects that are going to be on that, facilities will be part of that. We could look after maybe a March, April timeframe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Maybe we'll even get in the facilities by then.
Well, from a distance anyway. So, yeah.
There you go. Look, there's our rec center.
We know people with keys.
Excellent.
The next subcommittee, seniors subcommittee.
There's nothing going on with seniors since we can't go to the community center.
Okay.
Now, they're still giving out the lunches Monday and Wednesday.
And thank you. The city has actually taken over for the Lions. We were doing 1 day a week, and we haven't, I believe we still have some volunteers that might be going up there, but regardless, the hope is that Lion Joe will pick it back up maybe in March. So we're talking with him and checking in with him. And I want to just extend that the Lions really appreciate that the city has picked up our day and kept it going. That's really cool. Thank you.
Okay. So team services. I don't.
The YAC is not meeting currently,
No.
so it might be best to wait
Makes sense.
until they reconvene.
Okay.
And they're back in school and stuff.
Trails development.
Actually, we are having a master trail. Is that open to the public?
Yeah,
The workshop, yeah, on the
I'll
19th.
mention it shortly. Yeah.
19th, yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Lyle?
Maybe in February we can plan something after our February meeting, because we'll get a debrief of how the workshop went. Maybe we need to discuss some things. So I would wait to plan something for that in our February meeting.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I have a few of those.
Yeah.
And
A
then,
lot of them.
and then the last subcommittee on here will be just kind of, we will remove from the list since that joint subcommittee with open space and ecology is done, since they've already allocated the funding for the Crocker Trail Master Plan. So there's nothing more at this time for that subcommittee.
Okay. Great. Let's move on to the commissioners. Any commissioners reports?
Through the chair, I do have some information actually about events that are happening, not through the Park and Rec, but because we have a wonderful relationship with Park and Rec. The Lions Club is doing our annual Star Awards virtually. So speaking of things, we would love it if you haven't already sent us your photographs. Go to the BrisbaneLions.org website and it'll tell you how to send us your photos of your house. We're not hiring an artist this year, or not hiring, but we're not asking an artist this year to go around and take photos. We're asking you to give us your selfies of your lights and your decorations. And on January 26th, we're going to do the Star Awards virtually. We're going to talk about the Star Awards. The Star Awards have been going on for 50 years. And so we want to talk about them and how they've evolved. And then we'll show all your pictures. We'll show some of the past Star Awards. If anybody's watching tonight, they can see behind me are some photos from our previous Star Awards. And then also in February, our annual crab dinner is going to be a lobster fest to go. The crab season is poor this year, but in addition to that, we can't gather as a party in February. So we're doing a lobster feed to go with the New England Lobster Market in Burlingame. And if you go to brisbanelions.org, you can put in your order for your food, and we're going to do a virtual dance party that night. So it's a way to celebrate with the city and the people that want to dance and have fun and eat their lobster and just have a moment of releasing and having a nice time. And I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to be able to announce it here because I do think as a city, between the Park and Recs and the Brisbane Lions, we do get a chance to provide a lot of fun events and create an opportunity for joy for our town. So thank you for letting me bring that up. And I look forward to seeing all your photos of your house. Again, brisbanelions.org is the name of our website. And I look forward to seeing you all and enjoying some dancing with you. So thanks. That's my report.
Great, thank you. Sounds very exciting.
I have something. And I don't know, maybe it could go on the CIP. I was just thinking when Lyle was bringing up about the recreation programs, something that we haven't talked about for a while, and I don't know what's happening, but maybe we should start having a discussion just so it can go to city council maybe eventually as a recommendation. But the teen center grounds, what's going to happen with that site? And also the old library, what's going to happen to that? Maybe that could be some programs for Park and Rec. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, that is good. Any other reports from our commissioners? All right, we'll move on to staff reports.
Just a couple of other quick updates. We had our second COVID testing event at the pool this past Monday. We had 137 participants.
Wow.
The first event that we had a great turnout as well. So self-testing site where individuals register for a time slot and they come in, they swab themselves. And then we submit it through the county's curative program for their results. Because we've had such a positive response and significant interest, we are going to try and conduct another event in the month of February. So keep an eye out for that. As previously mentioned, our next community workshop for the Crocker Trail Master Plan will be next week on the 19th. The link is on the city website under the Crocker Trail Master Plan project website. We have been working with Sharon and Sarah to coordinate or to pivot our annual Artist Evening of Sharing event to a virtual format this year. And so we will begin promoting that event and soliciting participation from residents to virtually or electronically submit their videos or images of their artwork or music or dance or what have you. And remind me, but I think we said that the event itself would be pre-recorded for, what was it, March 27th? Is that right?
Right. We're going to do pre-recorded artist submissions, but live showing of the show on the 27th. So, and at this point, Leanne Borghese has agreed to host the show. So we're going to, hopefully, it'll be fun, I think. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what people submit. And I've already started to talking to some artists about sending us some original, I got some original work coming from some artists. So that's really cool. Some musicians. So.
Excellent.
And those are from Brisbane musicians?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, so lots more promotion coming on that in the coming months, and hopefully we get people to participate. I think a lot of people who are artists who have been home through this pandemic have been crafting and creating, and there may even be new artists on the scene, and we won't be limited by time in the show this year. And so we want to encourage as much participation as possible. It's also
Yep.
something that we will record so that people can watch after the event at their leisure.
Yeah.
Lastly, commission interviews are scheduled with City Council to be held on January 21st for the Park and Rec Commission. So that's coming up. And then I was going to quickly mention the holiday events that Sarah is working on, but we already talked through some of that. So other than that, I don't have any updates. That's it.
Thanks, Maureen. Commission matters is next on the agenda. So any written communications? All right. The commission calendar.
So our next meeting is scheduled for February 10th.
Okay, so we can move on to adjournment. So anything else? Good. All right. So I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 7:27. What's the date? January 13th, 2021.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.